What up, Cook?
What's going on?
What up to our stars and those who will later on become our stars? Welcome to Carbon Ether Podcast, where knowledge meets understanding. I am the astute Sharif Prescott, and sitting with me here today is the lionized Derek Cook, and this is about to be one heck of a show this evening.
What up?
I would like to say to you guys real quick, you must understand one thing. This show was created for us, and it's about us. It's about those of us who are down here, the 99%, opposite of the 1%. There's some things that we need to talk about that's happened in this country that a lot of people don't want to hear. That's your problem. That's your business. Frankly, I don't care, because it involves the things that happen to people that look like Derek and I, and a whole lot of others. Yeah. There's some misconceptions. There's some stereotypes. And there's a whole bunch of garbage going on out there, especially with this DEI thing. How do you think the filibuster was created? The filibuster was created through what? The DEI, because certain groups weren't getting the votes that they needed. So they had to, include people that look like me, so-called black people, in the 3/5 clause so they can make up the populace that they was lacking, being that we couldn't vote. And we still didn't vote once they said that we was 3/5 and added us to their rosters so they could finally win, so that's how that whole, not filibuster, but electoral college. So if you want to talk DEI, let's go look back at the electoral college and how it was created. That's how the electoral college came about, was by way of DEI. So with this constant thing about us not having the intellect, not having the will, not having the drive, not having the attitude, the fortitude, the personality, or whatever else that y'all keep saying that we freaking lack. Stop!
Well, that sounds kind of like the military, too.
Man, that's what Pete said?
Because I was in the military for 30 years. And for them to try to erase history that's being taught in the Air Force Academy and the Naval Academy at West Point, this is teaching points that they have in these schools, bringing out these officers that will be generals down the road.
Absolutely.
And it's just crazy that how they're trying to erase it, because they said the same thing back in World War II and World War I, and that black soldiers, or we, weren't competent enough to lead.
Who won the war?
And be in charge. But guess what? We had these black generals out there that.
And because of them, what happened? The war was won.
Yeah, you're right. And today, they're letting our top generals go out of the military.
Because they're
today,
DEI hires.
in 2025,
Yeah.
top generals, black generals, are being fired, replaced with less competent white generals.
Absolutely. And this is the thing.
That pisses me off.
Absolutely. And this is the thing. And I'm going to go to my Dr. Rashad Richard moment. Now, y'all know damn well this is foolish. Ain't no damn way in the hell everybody that look like me that ends up in these high-powered positions or whatever, executive positions, everybody is not a DEI hire.
Definitely
DEI doesn't mean that you hire a black person just to fill a position so the quota can be met. Remember, I said something about a quota. You were seeing a video that I done last week. This is absurd. And another thing that kills me are the people that look like me that's still supporting this whole movement that's going on, this machine. This is crazy. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back. We're going to go back to affluent, melanated communities that was flourishing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they weren't. And we know why they weren't flourishing.
Of course.
We know what the situation that came about.
Of course.
When they saw, think about it.
Jealousy.
Think about it like this right here. And I want to drive this home. So I need y'all to listen to me. After the Civil War, when Emancipation Proclamation so-called set people that look like me free, instead of being emancipated, Abraham Lincoln should have said they're liberated. Then we possibly could have bypassed all this. It might have turned into a second Civil War, but it is what it is.
So we're about to add that.
General Order number 15. Look into it. That 400,000 acres and so forth that was given to people that look like me. And then Andrew Johnson came in months later after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln and took it all back and gave it back to those who don't look like me, who's been a thorn in our side and a knee on our neck for a very long time. I, for one, don't give a damn how any of you so-called black Trump supporters feel out there. I don't. If you want to debate me, call me to your show. I'll call you to my show. We can go live on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, fan base, X, Truth Social. It don't even matter. I'm
Face
sick
to
of
face.
face to face. I'm sick of these so-called black people. I heard some mess last night from about RFK gonna save us from eating bad foods. I didn't know he was a medical doctor and nor a scientist, so I don't know how that's gonna happen by way of policy. No, that ain't gonna happen because policies that they're passing is to enrich themselves. If RFK is gonna save us from bad foods, and how about y'all call RFK? You know who you was? A whole bunch of y'all out there. I talked to a couple yesterday. Call RFK and tell them to quit putting hormones in the damn cows so they can produce more milk.
Yeah.
You know what happens when you put those hormones in the cows to produce more milk? It intensifies the white blood cells. What does that mean, smart people? It means that it's going to be some cancer-causing agents somewhere, but y'all don't know anything. You just, like I said again, and I'm going to calm down after this. My bad.
Calm
but
down, bro.
this mess is ridiculous. How can you not see that they're passing bills to alleviate us?
Oh, definitely.
Everything they doing is to alleviate us again.
But a lot of people can't see that. I don't know why they can't see it, but it's plain as day. It's in the open, and they're shoving it in everybody's face.
It's right there in their face, and they refuse to see it because they feel like, oh, well, you know, I've gotten pulled myself up by my bootstrap, and I myself have a little business that I can run, and therefore I'm part of the in crowd. Well, let me tell you something, Ninja. You ain't gonna never be part of that in crowd, no matter how uppity you feel like you are.
Yeah.
You're never gonna be part of it. Get used to it, brown boy, black boy, yellow boy, red boy. You're gonna always be boy.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you got. Look at P. Diddy.
They bringing it back to the boy days.
Yeah, they knew P. Diddy was doing the stuff that he was doing long before he got wrapped up in the mess that he's in now.
Yeah.
You know why they let it go? Because he was doing the bidding for them. Make us money, boy. But see, he got too big. Y'all ain't gonna ever get that big.
What they say, got too big for your britches.
Yeah, for the britches, your trousers.
For your britches.
You know. But again, we're gonna be talking about the destruction of melanated communities that was built up by us. Now you got to think, coming post Civil War, they don't want us in their communities. Y'all got to go do your own thing. They didn't give our people the 400,000 acres and that mural that came in later. But follow me here. You don't want us in your community, but we go build our own community, and guess what happens? Please tell us what happened, Cook. Give us an example.
So what happens is, basically, we're gonna come to your town because we don't like seeing you being successful, prospering. So we're gonna come in and do things to drive you out of your town, to take your land, and you just move out and you don't have anything.
It ain't just move out, Ninja. They running for their life.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because let me give you a piece right here.
Them.
Historically, some white men, especially those invested in maintaining racial hierarchies, have reacted with jealousy, resentment, and violence towards black success because it threatened the social and economic power structures that upheld white supremacy. This pattern, y'all hold on, forgive me. I done lost my spot, boy, but I'm going to bring it back. This pattern has been evident in numerous incidents where thriving black communities were attacked and destroyed. What's one of the cities attacked and destroyed? One of the black communities?
So we'll go with Oscarville, Georgia. They call it the town beneath the lake. So from my research,
Lake Lanier.
Lake Lanier. And so this, from my research, is what it says. Town of Oscarville, Georgia is located in Forsyth County. Majority of the black town was formed in the 1800s, post-war Reconstruction, like you said, after the Civil War. So the books and research says it was most famous for a series of violent crimes and racially motivated riots that happened in 1912, which drove away most of the black residents. But my research, from me doing my research, it says Oscarville was an agricultural community, and most of its history was reported to be prosperous. It was a very prosperous town. So not all the residents were black in the town, but the town had a little over 1,000 residents. So out of those residents, 58 of those residents owned their own land. Over 100 residents rented farms and maintained those farms.
You don't say.
And many worked as craftsmen, cotton heads, and raised poultry. So, of course, they were prospering. They did their own thing.
So those people on the outside looking in, seeing this community. Now listen again. We don't want y'all amongst us, amidst us. So please remove yourself. Go make your way with whatever you means you can. So when they go and create what? Oscarville?
Oscarville. They formed their own town, and they were prospering. They would flourish. But
and then what happened?
So in 1912, a series of racial conflicts. Man, you just interrupt me like that, bro.
I can't. There's about to be some debris everywhere.
Bro, you just interrupted me. I'm trying to get some facts.
You don't want that debris.
Okay, I don't want that
Y'all
debris.
Forgive me.
But again, in 1912, a series of racial conflicts happened, which led up to the residents being driven out of their town. So really quick, I'll go over a few things.
Several about like what happened?
What drove them?
What drove them? Okay, now this is going to be interesting.
What drove them to be? What happened for them to be driven out of their town. So, quick few things. Several white farmers in the area were under economic stress, and they blamed the black landowners for that.
Oh, hell no. No, they didn't, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay. So another incident, it's called the Ellen Grice incident, where a 22-year-old white woman made an allegation that two black men attempted to rape her.
No, not the Karen back then.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, time travel. Karen.
All right. Number 3, rape and murder of May Crow. 18-year-old white woman raped and killed outside of the city of Oscarville. But of course, they're arrested and harassed residents of Oscarville. So you know how that goes. So and they also had a night rider attacks. The day after the May Crow's funeral, a group of whites on horseback who called themselves night riders would
Remember the movie, the show that used to come on with the talking car kid? Knight Rider.
Yeah, but this wasn't no Michael Knight thing.
No, boy, it wasn't.
But they would go in the night in the black communities and inflict property and bodily injury for the purpose of expunging all black residents. So by September and October of 1912, most of the black residents left Forsyth County. 98% of the black residents of Oscarville had left or had been killed for refusing to leave their town.
Yeah, you see, when you go through history, as Derek was just putting it, what caused that riot? Every single time.
False accusations.
False accusations. Let me give you a couple right here. Race riot of 1943. Like the successive rebellion that would erupt. The Detroit race riot of 1943 was deeply rooted in racism, poor living conditions, and unequal access to goods and services. The apparent industrial prosperity that made Detroit the arsenal of democracy masked a deeper social unrest that erupted during the summer of 1943. Detroit was not the only in its turmoil that summer, though the violence and the civil disturbance that occurred here were some of the worst in U.S. history. You know who else was going on through this stuff? Listen.
I could have swore Detroit was when you think about Detroit, you think of just straight black city.
Well, it doesn't matter it didn't matter where we went. It don't matter where we go now.
Yeah.
What people don't seem to understand is how the restriction of our movement is ancient. it just keeps going. The further back you go, when it comes to the Greeks, when it comes to the Romans, when it comes to the Portuguese, when it comes to I mean, any and everybody, for whatever reason, are we that damn great? We got to be that great.
So let me ask you a question. So do you think that with the new leadership and government that we have today, that is kind of reverting back to those times now?
They said they wanted to go back, make America great again. This is what people don't realize.
So that's what they mean by
they mean that. They know they can't go back to the regular prisoners of war, but what they can do is use the system. So what they've been doing, which is why that dude who's holding the seat, as D.L. Hewlett says, I ain't gonna say his name.
Yeah, don't say his name.
Like that dude, y'all excuse me, allergies is tearing the player up. When we look at everything for what it's worth, when you look at Project 2025, I skimmed through a lot of that stuff, and I read a lot of stuff, and I listened to people talk about what they've read, and then I would go back and cross-reference what they was talking about, and I'd read some of it. It's downloaded on my phone, which I'm recording from right now. It says it, but it don't. Okay, it's like they saying you can't say certain words in government now around this administration. You can't say certain
names
words.
Either.
Certain names either. That's what it was doing inside Project 2025 when you look at it. And for the people that look like us, that sitting here siding with this crap, going against their own interests, they so far removed from reality, it's ridiculous. I don't care how you feel. If you're a Trump supporter and you mad at what I say, so what? I don't care. I ain't never cared, and I ain't gonna never care. I ain't never been scared, and I ain't gonna never be scared. That's what it means to me.
It look like Bone Crusher too, don't it?
Yeah, and that's how I said it to mean it. You know.
But reality is gonna set in with them eventually. It's gonna set in. Just give it some time.
Yeah,
and they're gonna feel it.
Yeah, they're gonna feel it. You ain't got no choice but to feel it. The thing is, man. And I ain't trying to be ugly towards nobody. We're very inclusive over here. I'm very inclusive. Yeah, I can be a smart, smart aleck, whichever way you want to put it. But I get it naturally. I don't like being around willfully ignorant people. That's the worst thing in the world for me. Let's digress from that because I've been ranting for a minute, and let's jump into.
But can I finish off about?
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
About Oscarville.
Go ahead.
So after all the black families fled, and any property that was left behind, it would be destroyed, and any livestock that they left behind after they were ran out of their town, it would be killed. And if it wasn't killed, all the white residents took over all the abandoned land left by the black residents without having to pay the previous owners anything for it. So basically they just got free land. They, you run them off the land and we'll take over, and it's ours now. So in conclusion, after decades following the 1912 expulsions, the land of Oscarville was sold to the government.
And what is it now?
It's a lake.
And what's that lake called?
Lake Lanier.
And what has Lake Lanier been doing for decades now?
Providing electricity and recreation for people in Forsyth County.
That's that positive right there.
So,
but Lake Lanier also been killing the hell out of people too.
Oh yeah, they say it's haunted.
Yeah, you go out there to Lake Lanier with those housing and stuff down there. The people under the waters. We ain't talking about the people under the stairs.
Yeah,
we're talking about people under the water.
Yep.
Listen, I remember going out there once when I was a kid. I don't remember much about it, but I do remember going once.
Well,
I ain't never wanted to go back.
I won't go.
And now that I know what it is, what happened, I will never go again.
Yeah.
Ever in the history of my most illustrious existence.
Yeah, because
never go back.
Because they say that most of the structures from that town were still standing. They just flooded the town, so there's that. The structures are still underwater.
Think about
everything is still there.
It's so many things that's happened. Let's talk, man. Listen, Ocoee, Florida, how they ran all those people out of there. We all know about Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, we know about that. How about Seneca Village?
In New York City?
Seneca Village. You know, everybody, a whole bunch of us
A lot of
know
people
about the show.
but a lot of people don't know about.
No,
A lot of
hold
people
on.
don't know that.
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the show Friends.
Oh,
If
okay,
you didn't
okay.
watch it, you saw commercials. I didn't know it back in the day when Friends was really popular.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this when they sitting on the red couch and stuff out there, and then they go to the bars and stuff. They got Central Park on the window. I used to even own a Central Park shirt.
Yeah.
You know, but where Central Park sits used to be an affluent, melanated community called Seneca Village.
That it did.
And you know why it's not there anymore? Eminent domain, the government, by way of eminent domain, went and they took it. They seized the property.
So they basically, so this is happening in New York,
Yeah.
not just in the South, because it's happening everywhere. Because
It
you
happened
said
everywhere.
Detroit, and
Yeah.
we were talking about Georgia,
Chicago.
and now we're talking about New York City,
Yeah.
where a prominent black community was basically pushed out so they can build a park
Build a park
for recreation.
for recreation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, as the old saying goes, if we want it, we gonna take it. It don't even matter how you feel. It just is what it just is, boy. You hear me? We'll be back with the law.
Yeah.
And when we come back with the law, we're going to block the sun out on y'all black ices. You best believe. Yeah. And see, again, I ain't trying to be funny. I ain't trying to be ugly. What I'm trying to convey to you stars and anybody else who may come across this who's not yet a star, what I'm trying to convey is nothing's changed. Things have changed. But some of the old dirty secrets
Yeah.
or dirty chess moves are still relevant. They still doing it, just under different guise. We just keep missing it because we don't want to hear it. We're never going to get better in this country as an entire nation, a melting pot, until we face the ugly that used to exist, tell the truth about history, and we face the ugly that exists today. Until then, Derek, we ain't gonna get nowhere, buddy.
Yeah, because a lot of this is not even in any history books, and it's not taught in schools, and you don't hear about it in the black communities.
Nope.
So, but yeah, we have, it's another place called Susanna, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is something that I didn't even know about being from Alabama, but I know about Lake Martin because Lake Martin
I know about Lake
is
Martin.
close to here, but I never knew that there was a black town called Susanna, Alabama, which was founded in the 1800s, and they flourished too. As they flourished, they actually became, well, I guess, white people saw them as a threat to the surrounding communities.
Yeah, we're still a threat to this day.
So violence and theft were committed against them. So land that they worked for was unjustly taken away from them. So they owned their own railroads, school, and had thriving businesses.
You know, when you really look back at history, when you really study it, I got some notes right here where it talks about historical conditionings, reasons why white mobs, most of the time not even affiliated to white militia groups such as the KKK and the Night Riders or whatever, just white mobs, average, everyday common folk. Reasons why they hated to see the success of people that look like us and some of y'all.
Yeah.
And not all white people was bad. Now, mind you, you'll find out in the video I done last week that'll be released this week. That's going to be released already. So that's been released up. My words are messed up. I don't know. I'm aggravated. But check this out. Historical conditions of generations of propaganda and racist policies reinforce the idea that black success was unnatural and undeserved. Man, did you play Mario Brothers growing up?
Yeah.
Remember when Mario or Luigi would get, it might not even be there, but it go, Then he get bit by the turtle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because that's what it is all the time. Check this out. Envy and progress combined with systematic racism led to some white individuals to destroy melanated communities rather than compete fairly. The fear of black success wasn't just about individual wealth. It was about maintaining control. They wanted to control. Same thing Trump and them want to do now. I'm sorry, and I said his name, DL. I let you down. I'm sorry, brother. Same thing this administration want to do now, which is why they're removing everything, which is why DEI, which has nothing to do with freaking race.
No,
this shit is retarded. No, DEI has nothing to do with race, the birth of DEI.
Nope.
Let me continue. They, meaning the angry white mob men, they just didn't kill black people. They burned businesses, stole land, and erased entire communities, ensuring that generational wealth could not be passed down.
That's right.
Boy. But we lazy all the time. These things that we hear, these stereotypes, these lies, these sparse, all this craziness. And it's lies, people. They're lies. Do you know how if we're already at 1.3 trillion? I know we spend trillions of dollars a year. A lot of that money on things that we don't need. It's all wants.
On bullshit.
We have.
Don't want to say it on bullshit.
Yeah, our community.
Yeah,
it's like 42 million of us in this country. We are a population larger than Canada itself.
As soon as they get their tax money, they go stand.
They're going to buy a car with some rims on it.
Or buy some Jordans.
Yeah, they ain't gonna go buy no. They're not gonna go buy an acre or anything. You know,
definitely not.
Put no money in stocks and whatever.
Definitely
CDs.
not gonna do that. They're gonna go out to what's it called, Applebee's or
they're going better than that.
Some might think Applebee's is the best.
Shit, some may not say.
I'm just saying.
Where you're from.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
What's your demographic?
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know, they take their little money and go, oh, I'm a splurge. Then when it's all gone, guess what? Back in the same.
I used to be a fool like that. So. Blow my money on brands. I'm a brand, damn it. Mm-hmm. I'm branding myself. I'm unapologetically me, and I will always be unapologetically me. I'm going to always speak truth to power. The revolution will be televised. I'm going to make it to that next level, and I don't give a dang how anybody feel about me. Yeah, I'm trying to watch my language more so than most people because, like I said, I'm all-inclusive. He's all-inclusive. We want to bring children on this show, and we don't want parents to, kind of shy away from us because of
those guys too rough.
Yeah, profanity and craziness. But I do deserve the right and reserve the right to be upset if I want to. Yeah, but it's just an emotion. And we'll get past it.
Yeah, we're all grown ups here, so you say what's on your mind. So
absolutely. But as I continue, and sometimes we're gonna get off subject here at Carbon Ether. That's just how we do. We still new and learning. So y'all let us know. Hey man, stay on track for your next show. It's all good. But let's see. So other historical conditioning that white men, they just didn't like us. Not every one of them had an issue, but I'm just talking about the ones that caused all the ruckus. So don't think I'm talking about everybody, but this is just facts. Sexual myths about racist stereotypes, historical conditioning of fears, fear of political loss and black gain, loss of social superiority, fear of economic competition. Dude, come on, man. Go to the next city, man. We got one more city to talk about.
First of all, you can't be doing better than them.
Man, it makes no sense. Better than them. They
want to keep you down and keep their foot on your throat as much as possible.
As possible.
So my last city that I have, I don't know if people saw the movie, which I'm pretty sure they have, Rosewood, Florida.
Yeah.
Had Ving Rhames, Don Cheadle in it. What's her name? Angelina Jolie daddy.
Esther Rose.
So it was a pretty good movie.
Ving Rhames.
Yeah. So Rosewood, Florida was located in Levy County, Florida. So they get the term Rosewood from it comes from the reddish color of the cedar wood that they had there. This was a town that prospered
Yeah.
in the early 20th century.
It was nice.
It was sold in 1845, and it was the industry that they really had there was timber. So there were two specific black families there that was striving and doing pretty good, named the Goins and the Carrier families. They had the most influence. So the Goins family, they were the second largest landowners in that county, in Levy County, Florida.
Okay.
So back in that time in the 1920s, you're like, wow, really? You know, and the Carrier family were responsible for all the logging operations going on in that region. So again, they were pretty prosperous. The town was pretty prosperous, and they were self-sufficient. They had 3 churches, a school, a large Masonic hall, a turpentine mill, a sugarcane mill, a baseball team.
Now, this is all in this Rosewood community,
Yeah.
which is a community that looks like us. Is what Derek is
Yeah.
that's the information he's given. Now, hold on one second. You don't want us in your community, so we go out and we create our own community. We build that community up. Continue, Derek.
Okay, and they had 2 general stores in that community, and one was owned by a white owner. So what happened was that in January 1923, white men from a nearby town outside of
Here we go.
Rosewood lynched a black man named Sam Carter in response to the claim that a white woman named Fannie Taylor from a nearby town, wasn't even in Rosewood, from Sumter, had been beaten and possibly raped by black men. So that started all that. So when the black citizens of Rosewood tried to defend themselves, when they did defend themselves from the attacks by the white man, several hundred whites organized mobs to comb through the countryside hunting for residents, and destroyed and burned almost every structure in Rosewood, wiping out the town and forcing the black residents to abandon and never return.
You see this, but this is what happened all the time. This is what happens, and the justice system just idly stands by and watch. They know what's going on.
You know what? And it's crazy that you say that. Now, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you
But
good.
it's
Interrupt.
funny that you just came out like that and said, and the fun. And so I'm going into this. It says that from my research, it said the funny part of this is that the state and local authorities were aware
Yeah.
of the
Always.
violent attacks, but made no arrests for the activities in Rosewood
For what?
because it wasn't affecting their community.
No black
affected.
man.
It was affecting our communities.
You know, yeah, because if you go back to history again, it says that no black man has anything that a white man is bound to respect. They ain't got to. They don't give a damn about what's going on with you. And we know that's not everybody today. Again, let's keep that in mind. We're not saying that all white people are bad or nothing
Nope.
like that. What we're saying is that there are some things that is bad that happened back then. There's some things that's bad that happens now by the hands of white people. No, we know black people do stuff to black people, so there's no such thing as black on black crime. It's just crime.
Yeah.
Because you don't say white on white crime. You don't say Asian on Asian crime. You don't say American Native on American Native crime. You don't say any of that stuff. It's only just black because y'all got to put us in this box. We got to always be in this damn box where we're separate from everybody else. Everything we do when it comes to doing something bad, it's just the worst. It's criminalized the worst. When it comes to anything you guys do, oh man, it can just be a...
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. So, last part of this, finishing up on the Rosewood massacre.
Yeah.
Reparations were given in 1994 by the Florida state legislature in the amount of $2 million. This was compensation for the 9 surviving members of the Rosewood massacre, equaling only $150,000 each. In 2004, Governor Jeb Bush placed a plaque in memory of the events that happened in Rosewood. And guess what? But of course, the plaque was vandalized when it was shot at by a car passing by.
Absolutely. You know, we can't raise anything for us, and most of the people
They
and anybody.
stand it and they hate it.
Anytime they raise a statue or a mural or anything for us, it's gonna be vandalized. They don't deserve it.
Yep.
We don't deserve shit when it comes to us. When it comes to from the viewpoint of some white people, we don't deserve shit. Everything we do is shit.
Yep.
No, you shit.
Yep.
All you bigots, all you racists, y'all are shit, to be truthful.
Now you know you're gonna get some crazy comments.
I don't care. Bring them.
You're gonna get some crazy comments in the emails.
Yeah, but it is. Listen, if anybody, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a sugar glider. You got a smart device in your hand at all times. You should use it to enrich yourself with knowledge.
Yep.
So you'll see what I'm saying ain't me. Mm-hmm. It's what history is saying. People that documented this stuff.
And stuff that they're not teaching in school or
no,
not
this is what they want to get rid of.
So,
I know some people personally that said, no, it don't need to be taught in school. Why? You learning Greek history every day. You learning Roman history.
And
European history.
Yeah, you learning white history, stuff that happened in the white United States, but they're not telling you the other stuff.
No.
That black people did to help build this country
to
where it is today.
All the inventions.
Yeah.
All the inventions before and after they were stolen. Guess by whom? Yeah. We're going to do a show on that next. I like these little rambling shows. But let me give you where violence took place in affluent melanated communities. Race riot of 1943. We said that already. Detroit. Memphis, 1866, Memphis, Tennessee. 1906, Atlanta, Georgia. East St. Louis, Missouri, 1917. 1919, Elaine, Arkansas, Annapolis, Maryland, Syracuse, New York, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Maryland, New Orleans, Louisiana, Chicago, Illinois, and more.
Hold on. So you said Annapolis, Maryland, Syracuse, New York, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Maryland, Chicago. Those are, at that point in time in history in 1919, you would hear a lot of that stuff happening in the South and southern states. But for you to tell me or tell our audience that it was happening in these northern states also?
Check this out, Derek. More than 36 cities across the United States experienced racial violence in 1919 during a period known as the Red Summer. Thousands of African Americans driven out of their homes and more than 250 African Americans were killed in at least 25 riots. For what? They just didn't like what they had. They became extremely jealous. And it infuriated them. It boiled their blood. How could they have more than we have? Let's not even talk about. Let's go to the back. Let's look at the Great Depression. Mm-hmm. They didn't want melanated people in their banks, right? Mm-hmm. So the little money melanated people would make, that was great. They saved money, right? That was frugal as hell. Mm-hmm. Because you can't go here and buy from them. I don't nobody want to keep going through your back, though. This is during the sharecropping and Jim Crow stuff, y'all. With black people had it going on because they had money to go buy food. Mm-hmm. They had money to go buy clothes, whatever things they needed to make clothes.
Well, basically, black people knew how to survive, too.
They knew how to. They'd been surviving for the longest. Yeah. With anger. This is some of the driving forces that cause white moms to go in and create this narrative that some black man done did something to one of them old school Karens to have a reason to go in and cause an uprising and take their things. When the white men went off the war because they wouldn't let the black men fight in the war because they say they were incompetent. Turns out the only reason you won the war was because of people that looked like me, especially, Tuskegee Airmen, just to name one.
Yeah. Civil War also.
Exactly.
The thing is, northern states.
The thing is, we have to get past. We don't have to. They have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody want what you have. If we got something that you want, then we probably bought it, earned it, or it was given. Ain't nobody taking nothing from y'all. Because we go taking y'all stuff. We know where we going. Forever. Just take the 4 off and just say ever in jail or prison. We ain't trying to do that.
Life. Just like the movie Life, Life.
This is crazy, man. But
So,
you know.
Yeah.
Let me continue to go. 1919, Corbin, Kentucky. As he mentioned, 1923, Rosewood. This is just a few of the communities that was destroyed simply because they had more. But I ain't through yet. Y'all hold on.
Well, they didn't want you like, oh man, he has a nice house. They have a store there, and we don't have it over here in our town. And well, they got it. Why do we not have it? Well, guess what? We don't want them to have it.
And then they're about to come and get it. Listen, It used to be so bad with racism. Remember back in the day when white walls, big thick white walls came out?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day in certain places, the so-called, the melanated man couldn't have that white wall on the outside. It had to be turned in on the inside because it said there was too much black when it was a thinner line, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It was too much black more than the white. And that was symbolizing something. But as I continue, Mobile County, Alabama, Mobile County, 1865. Duplin County, North Carolina, 1865. Memphis, Tennessee, 1865. Bell County, Texas, 1866. Pine Bluff, Arkansas, March 1866.
So you saying 1865, 1866, that's the time that the Civil War ended and blacks were free.
These are all the communities
Yeah, and
that we own.
so basically the white community was like, okay, well these slaves are free now. No, we're not having that. We're gonna inflict pain. We're gonna inflict hardships on them, make it even worse for them to thrive after slavery.
Absolutely, and it was like for this McDuffie County, Georgia, November 1866, because he wanted to vote. In Moore County, North Carolina, February 1869, after a black man named Daniel Blue testified against a white man. You can't do this.
Oh yeah, he was done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you now, he was done. He testified against a white man.
Temptonville, Tennessee, November 1869. White mob seized 5 black men from jail and lynched them without a trial.
And they let it happen though. You had a lot of sheriffs that were like, oh well, I didn't know that the mob was coming, or I went home for the night and left the door open so they can get in there to get to the prisoners. When
the groups would come down or when somebody would question it, I ain't saying nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. And that kind of thing right there. I ain't trying to mock nobody, but hits the hell I am. But that's what happens. But anyways, man, it's just a little rant and rave. Again, just giving y'all some food for thought. Want to make you think. Get your wheels a turn.
Yeah, and research. Just look on just go on your smart device, your phones, or sit down with your tablet, your laptop, and just look up some things. Do some reading.
Absolutely. That's the thing right there, boy. When they said reading was fundamental, they didn't lie.
Yeah, you got to read. You got to research. That's the only way you're going to find out things, because you're not going to hear from word of mouth nowadays.
Yeah, and don't believe nothing we say. I don't want you to believe anything I say. Doubt me. Research it.
Research it.
Research it and everything I say.
Hit us up in the comment section.
Yeah.
If you find out something that we didn't talk about, or you want us to, you want to say something to us about it, hit us up in the comment section. Yeah. I'm glad to hear from you.
One more.
Glad to hear from
you. Vicksburg, Mississippi, December 1874, when black residents organized a protest the removal of an elected black sheriff. White mobs attacked and killed an estimated to 50 black people. How dare you protest against me? You don't protest against us.
Wrong. That's what I keep saying.
Ain't that right, done, boy?
Why would you do that? But they were standing up for themselves.
Man, I can go on forever.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, I'm done.
Hey man,
I done talked enough trash for the day.
I think we had a pretty good show today.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Derek and Sharif are out. We appreciate you stopping by. To our stars, again, thank you for your support. For those who may later on become stars, we thank you for your support. And again, this is just talking a lot of mess. It's true. No matter how you want to look at it, it's true. This is history.
Yep.
You can go find this stuff yourself. We just hope y'all can understand the importance of knowing this stuff. Because see, if we know this stuff, then maybe you can see where we are today. You can see how they're peeling back the things that were set in place to bring about some sort of peace and unity. We're never going to get that. Why? Because certain people don't want it for the mere fact, listen, for the mere fact of economic competition, fear of political power. It's all about the money, power, and control. The dollar bill, y'all. Hey, rock with me. But anyways, we'll catch up with you guys later. May the universe continue to bless you, man.
Hit us up.
Yeah, stay on top. Stay down until you come up. Deuces.
Peace.